In the headlines, 7 confirmed dead, several others missing in Zamfara boat mishap. Another party withdraws petition against President-elect Bola Tinubu. Governors El-Rufai, Soludo and Emir Sanusi speak on overdependence on oil. On the foreign scene, French journalist Armand Soldin killed in rocket attack in Ukraine. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for joining. And now the details. An unspecified number of children were said to have died in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital, in a boat mishap when the victims were returning from where they went to look for water. According to relatives of the victims, the recent water scarcity that has made vendors increase the price per jerrycan has forced residents to go the extra mile in search for water. The report.
Last Sunday was a black day for residents of Tulukawa community in Gusau local government area of the state, as they lost an unspecified number of their children to death in the boat mishap when they were returning home from where they have gone to look for water for domestic use. Though some witness accounts said 7 dead bodies were recovered, others said the number of those who lost their lives in the incident were more than 7. Muhammad Yusuf lost 2 of his children, a daughter identified as Zainab, a 17-year-old whose dowry has been paid, and a wedding fixed after next Salah celebration, and a 12-year-old son, Aliyu. He said he was devastated over the harrowing incident that happened to his children as a result of lack of water for domestic use. He wants the state government to address the problem of perennial shortage of water in Gusau metropolis to avert this kind of situation, saying that it was because their children went far away to place to look for water that the tragedy befell them. There is ugly incident that happened to me because of problem of water. These are community, even water vendors do not have water that one can buy. Even with your own money, you can't get water to buy. No borehole and not even well water. A relative of Zainab and Aliyu equally said they are pained because of the tragic incident which claimed the lives of 2 of her siblings and other children in the neighborhood due to the challenge of accessing water in Gusau metropolis. She lamented that they do not have well or borehole and called on the government to show empathy to them by providing borehole to the affected community so that they can access water with ease. 2 of the victims of the boat mishap are my younger ones because of this hard economic situation which compelled us to send our children to go and look for water. Shawulu Hassan, one of those who rescued the victims, narrated what transpired. We saw the boat, which was heavily loaded with load and people with water on their heads that resulted to it capsizing. When we noticed the boat capsize, we ran to help rescue the victims. We recovered 7 bodies and 6 persons alive. For some weeks now, some residents in Gusau metropolis have been suffering from shortage of water supply, and vendors of the commodity have increased the price from 50 naira to 70 or 100 naira, which made it difficult for people to afford due to the economic situation of the country.
The Action People's Party has applied to withdraw its petition challenging the victory of President-elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu at the 2023 general election. The counsel to the party, Obed Agu, also asked the court to strike out and dismiss the suit. Counsel to Tinubu, Wole Olanipweku, said that they are not opposing the application for withdrawal of the petition and they are not asking for cost.
It's nothing more than instruction from my client. I was instructed and I had a brief to file a petition. I filed the petition. I also have another brief to withdraw the petition. And that's the grounds. As a lawyer, I was prepared to take up this matter to the last minute of it. But things change. The brief is not mine. The brief is that of my client. Like one of the pressmen asked me 2 days ago, would you want to withdraw the petition? My answer was no. However, if I have the instructions of my client to do otherwise, I wouldn't say no to that.
The Presidential Election Tribunal will on Thursday rule on a motion by Atiku Abubakar, candidate of the People's Democratic Party, seeking live broadcast of the court's proceedings. The tribunal has commenced pre-hearing in the suit on Tuesday. The party and its candidate have argued that the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu was not duly elected by the majority of lawful votes cast at the election, and he was not qualified to contest the election. The five-man panel, led by Justice Haruna Tsammani, adjourned matters to Thursday to allow the parties involved to consolidate their issues for determination to avoid duplication and waste of time. The PDP lead counsel, Chris Uche, addressed journalists after the day's proceeding.
Happily, the pre-hearing session has commenced in the Atiku PDP petition. All the necessary preliminary issues have been dealt with, and we also brought up the issue of the motion on notice which we filed and which we served on all the parties in the case, and that is the motion for the live televising of the proceedings in this case, because we consider these proceedings very, very critical and important to the nation, one in which every Nigerian is a stakeholder. So this motion will come up perhaps on Thursday when this matter is adjourned to. It's been expected that the other parties will file their responses so that the court will take a decision on it. So we are coming back on Thursday.
In the meantime, Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke, while reacting to the Supreme Court judgment reaffirming his victory at the Osun governorship poll, has assured people of the state of his commitment to deliver on all his campaign promises. He said this is his home, his country home, where he received his supporters, and he said that's in his country home where he received his supporters and admirers shortly after the judgment was delivered. Hamid Oyegbade reports.
The verdict of the Supreme Court has brought the litigation on the July 16, 2022 governorship election in Osun State to a conclusive end, as the Apex Court affirmed Governor Ademola Adeleke as the validly elected governor of the state. The candidate of the All Progressive Congress in the election, Adegboyega Oyetola, was dissatisfied with the result of the election and the declaration of the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Adeleke, as the winner of the election by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Upon his victory, Governor Adeleke assured the people of the state that he would deliver on his campaign promises to them.
Now that is over now, that I've been affirmed as the authentic governor of Osun State, so it's now time for us to focus all the way to bring out more dividends of democracy to my lovely people in Osun.
The will and the wish of Osun people has been confirmed. It's a change that Osun people wanted, and it has been fulfilled and crowned by the Supreme Court today.
I can assure you that the work is continuous, or we continue to do the good work. So the people of Osun State should expect more dividend of democracy for His Excellency.
His family members, supporters, and admirers celebrated the victory with Governor Adeleke.
I want to thank God Almighty for the victory of today, and this victory signifies that one with God is a majority. I want to thank them so much. I thank the people of Osun State for their love for His Excellency Senator Ademola Jackson Adeleke.
I want to thank God for today's victory. God has done it for us again. Then I want to thank the judiciary for the judgment of today. You've done well, you've done so good.
Today's victory
you should know, looking at my face, you can see my face radiating. I'm so glad. I thank God. I dedicate this victory to God Almighty who made it happen.
Meanwhile, the state remains peaceful and calm as residents are going about their normal businesses while security operatives are seen at strategic locations in Oshogbo, the state capital. Amid Ojegbade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
The All Progressives Congress consensus candidates for Speaker of the incoming 10th National Assembly, Tajuddin Abbas, says that they are reaching out to other aggrieved aspirants in order to have a peaceful House of Representatives. He stated this while speaking to journalists after a closed-door meeting with members of the Joint Task 10th Assembly in Abuja Tuesday night. Joint Task 10th Assembly is a multi-party platform of all the political parties that want seats in the incoming 10th House of Representatives. He expressed his happiness for being found worthy by the House as consensus candidate for the seat. On his part, the nominated Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, said his choice will expand the party's presence in the southeast, which is known to be an opposition stronghold. President Muhammadu Buhari will stay in London for dental treatment. The president is in the United Kingdom since last week for the coronation of King Charles III, but decided to extend his stay by a week at the instance of his dentist, who has already started attending to him. He was scheduled to return to Nigeria this week, but will now stay on. Special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, in a statement said that the specialist requires to see the president in another 5 days for a procedure already commenced. The president's extended stay has sparked criticism for some at home, where many believe that he should prioritize domestic issues, including its security challenges. Police operatives in Katsina have arrested 72 suspected phone-snatching criminal gangs, armed robbers terrorizing residents for a long while. Parading the suspects at the command's headquarters in Katsina, the police spokesman CSP Gambo Isa said that the hoodlums were arrested at various locations in Katsina. Abdullahi Amadi reports.
Katsina residents have been suffering from the activities of local miscreants known as Kauraye for over a decade. The Kauraye groups, who are mostly drug addicts, move from one location to another, especially at the early hours of the night, unleashing mayhem on innocent residents. This time around, the groups changed tactics, where they engage in phone snatching and motorcycles thefts, inflicting injuries and killing their victims in the process.
The command has carried out raids in various locations within the state, which include Sabuwar Unguwa, Gadanayeli, Modoji, Tidin El Lihida, Kobran Dorawa, Jambongo Abbatuwa, Filin Canada, Lambun Allawai, Kofar Marusa, Salawa, Chake, and even Tunas. Tunas is a village in Dusi local government area of the state. We also went there and raided a criminal hideout, arrested some dealers of Indian hemp.
The police command in Katsina is also worried about the increasing involvement of some youth in banditry, rape, and other forms of criminalities.
In its efforts and determination in the fight against banditry, we succeeded in arresting one Abdullahi Bala, male age 23 years of Bakai village, Ankara local government area.
While appreciating the unflinching support the command is enjoying from the residents, the police spokesperson also warned that issues of phone snatching, which is new in Katsina, will not be taken lightly.
My name is Abdurrahman Ibrahim. I belong to a phone snatching syndicate terrorizing residents of Katsina. I participated in the killing of some people. We used knives in inflicting injuries and killing our victims after snatching their phones.
Commentators are attributing the increasing criminalities to abject poverty warning that the earlier the incoming administration develop a Marshall Plan to address the menace, the better. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at the motives of child adoption. Details of this and more after the break.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. Time for us to take a look at the top stories again. 7 confirmed dead, several others missing in Zamfara boat mishap. Another party withdraws petition against President-elect Bola Tinubu. Now, moving on, Almajiri students in Katsina are finding a new lease of life by enrolling in formal schools while attending the Quranic school, where they beg to survive. For years, the Almajiri system has been a controversial issue in Nigeria, with many children forced to leave their homes and families to attend Islamic schools, where they are left to fend for themselves. Jamil Mabai visits their school and sends in this report.
Aminu Lawal leading his classmates in prayer to mark the end of the morning Quranic session as part of a 13-hour daily Islamic traditional schooling system called Madarasa. He was brought to this Madarasa by his father 4 years ago under the care of his teacher Mujitaba. According to recent statistics, Nigeria has the highest number of out-of-school children in the world, with over 10 million children out of school. In Katsina State alone, there are over 1.5 million out-of-school children, with a significant number of them being Almajiri students. The Almajiri form of education is a traditional Islamic system of education that involves sending young boys to live with Islamic scholars to learn the Quran and the Islamic teachings. In the recent times, the system has been abused, with many Almajiri students forced to beg on the streets to survive, while their education suffers. But now there is a glimmer of hope for these students. An initiative was launched to integrate Almajiri students into the formal education system. Under the program, Almajiri students are enrolled in schools where they receive formal education alongside the Islamic teachings. These children are like any other children. They deserve to be properly integrated into the society. We decided on a particular school to pick and test our initiative by enrolling them. Aminu wants to learn English language so he can become a doctor, while 15-year-old Ahmad wants to work at a company. I want to learn English language and become a doctor or a soldier. I prefer to do office work in a company. What interests me the most about our school are the teachers, because they are kind and they explain things to us easily. Despite their poor background, they remain active during classes. The initiative is changing the narrative by providing these students with a safe and conducive learning environment. Begging to eat is their biggest impediment to actualizing their dream. Going to school with an empty stomach with no shoes, these children are determined to learn despite the glaring economic cost. Jamilu Mabai, reporting for Trust TV News, Katsina.
Now, adopting a child in Nigeria is seen by many as an action driven by childlessness on the part of adopting parents. However, this is not always the case, as adoption is also a responsibility of every member of the society as a way of catering for children with no parental heritage. The report.
One thing that almost every married couple looks up to is the arrival of a new baby. This has strengthened relationships between couples as well as their extended family. However, the absence of a child can be devastating to spouses looking forward to children. This is one reason couples adopt kids. Beyond this, many Nigerians do not see another reason for child adoption.
Different reasons for adoption of children. The fact that somebody has a child does not mean you cannot adopt a child. And for people that they are going maybe because of infertility, they can also can adopt. They too can also adopt. It's an alternative. A child need not come from you directly. You can, instead of going through the stress of infertility, you can just adopt a child.
It's not only people that have fertility issues that should adopt. Adoption should be made for everybody, especially people who are well-to-do to take care of those children that their parents abandoned and all that. So it's not only for people that have fertility issue, but people that can be able to take care of these children, put them in school, and also take care of their well-being. It shouldn't be only for people that have fertility issues. So adoption should be for everybody who should be able to take care of those children.
With the issues of fertility rampant among couples, adoption proves the only way out for some, while some other employ other means such as in vitro fertilization, popularly called IVF.
In our country, I have seen that adopting a children has brought many problems to some families. But as for me, my own understanding as a Christian, so I didn't see anything wrong with that. Anybody can adopt. If you see those children that doesn't have parents, you can go and adopt a child. You can adopt an adult to start taking care of them.
IVF is an advancement. It's a technological advancement. So it's something that will come to stay due to the prevailing circumstance of infertility, both in man and in woman. So there is every need for one to try the medical aspect, which is the IVF, you understand, to be able to get children, because children are the hallmark of every family.
Children have grown to reach their full potentials without their biological parents, hence the need to encourage it among all who have what it takes to adopt a child.
Political leaders, economists and policymakers converge on Abuja, Nigeria's capital, to x-ray the nation's economy and its ups and downs with a view to providing options that will help revamp the economy. Though considered the giants of Africa and one of the largest crude oil producers worldwide, Nigeria's overdependence on oil has left the country at the mercy of global oil prices. Trust TV's Chamunda Beng reports that the forum dwells on oil revenue, subsidy, private sector investment and the leadership in repositioning the ailing economy.
Once a major booster of the country's GDP, the oil sector contributed a mere 4.34% in Q4 of 2022. Nigeria's reliance on crude oil as its major export has now become a setback in the nation's quest for economic development, as the country grapples with challenges like the volatility of global crude oil prices as well as oil bunkering in the Niger Delta, which has drastically reduced Nigeria's oil output, dropping from an estimated 2.4 million barrels per day to about 1.3 million barrels per day, with an estimated $700 billion revenue. However, leaders at the subnational level spoke on the importance of leadership and the role it plays in boosting the country's economy.
These episodes of surge and decline depends on the leadership at any point in time, the stock and content of human capital in the government, And then where the government gravitates in a spectrum of between what I call the two T's, transactional leadership, transformational leadership. Over the decades, you will find our leadership and performance and reforms gravitating between these two spectrums, one extremes of the extremes. Depending on where we are, we have either up or we go down.
Political leadership matters. If you don't have political will to take very difficult decisions that may be unpopular in the short term, but solves long-term problems that the rest of the people may not see, but you know it has to be done, then you are in good shape.
Nigerian leaders are concerned over the culture of blame game among the elite rather than focusing on pragmatic ways of addressing the pressing issues. However, the 18th Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, has a different view.
I don't believe in covering up incompetence. I don't believe in being politically correct and not saying that something was not done properly. And if we want to really make progress in this country, we have to learn from the good and the bad. We have to see what we did right, but we also have to look at where we went wrong. If I have a new government on May 29 that tells me, oh, I'm going to continue paying this subsidy for the next 3 years, I'll fees over 3 years, I'm going to say you're not serious. I mean, I'm going to just close my eyes and get ready for the next election in 2027 because we're going to be here in 2027 talking about the same things.
As Nigeria looks to economic diversification and development, there is a need for massive private sector investments, fiscal consolidation, and a need to assess Nigeria's economic surges and emulate the highs. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, the 2023 Islamic Development Bank annual meetings have been flagged up in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia at the King Abdullah Congress Center. Salim Umar Ibrahim, who is in Jeddah, reports that the annual meeting is bringing together delegations from the group's 57 member countries, in addition to observers from regional and international organizations, to discuss development issues and institutional matters from 10th to 13th of May, while dignitaries and participants will hold closed-door meetings with the ISDB Group Board, the General Assembly of Federation of Consultants from Islamic countries, among others. The 2023 annual meeting's official opening ceremony is expected to be held on Thursday. French journalist Armand Solding, who worked for the AFP news agency, has been killed in a rocket attack in Chaziv Yar near the eastern Ukrainian city of Bakhmut, the 16th journalist to be killed since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Solding was with a team of AFP journalists traveling with Ukrainian soldiers when the group came under fire from Grad rockets at about 4:30 p.m. on Tuesday. The team took cover, but 32-year-old Solding was killed when a rocket struck near where he was lying. Chaziv Yar lies close to Bakhmut, which Russian forces have been trying to capture for 9 months, seeing it as a stepping stone to other parts of eastern Ukraine. Solding was born in Sarajevo, now the capital of Bosnia, in France. And that's it for the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.